Hello, I'm Dr. Ethan Greenwell, and I'm 60 years old. For more than 3 decades, I've had the privilege of walking alongside thousands of patients on their journey to protect and strengthen their bones. And today, I'd like to sit down with you in a gentle way, just like two friends having a heartfelt conversation about something that truly matters in life. Have you ever found yourself awake in the middle of the night, restless, unable to sleep, and in that stillness you wonder, is my health quietly changing in ways I can't see? Did you know that osteoporosis, the so-called silent thief, can progress for years without giving you any obvious warning signs? I still remember one of my patients. She was about 58, very active, loved taking morning walks. Yet, just one minor slip in the bathroom, and she broke her hip. That's when we discovered she had hidden osteoporosis she never even imagined. And here's the surprising part. Poor sleep often plays a big role in this story. Stress and sleepless nights raise cortisol, the hormone that silently works against your bones. But the good news is, you can absolutely prevent and manage this. And I'm here to share how you can build stronger bones, starting with your sleep and the small habits you weave into everyday life. Here's a truth many people don't realize. After age 50, our bone strength begins to decline much faster than when we were younger. If you've always thought of bones as solid blocks that never change, trust me, they're actually living tissue, constantly renewing, and just as easily weakening if we neglect them. Think of your bones like the frame of a house. When you're young, that frame is sturdy and strong, but over time, if you don't maintain it, no cleaning, no reinforcement, no fresh coat of paint, then even a gentle breeze can make it shaky. In our bodies, that means one small fall, or even a forceful sneeze, could lead to a fracture. So why does this happen? First, hormonal changes. In women, menopause brings a sharp drop in estrogen, the guardian of bone, causing bone density to fall. In men, testosterone gradually declines too, though usually at a slower pace. Second, sleep and stress. When you struggle with sleepless nights, your body pumps out more cortisol, the hormone that blocks calcium absorption. I once had a patient who had battled insomnia for years. When we measured her bone density, her bones looked a full decade older than her actual age. And finally, a sedentary lifestyle. These days, we sit more, move less, while our bones actually need weight-bearing activity to stay strong. It's simple. If you don't use them, they weaken. That's nature's rule. So remember this, osteoporosis is not some far-off problem of old age. It's a story that often begins in midlife, and unless we take steps to prevent it, our most precious framework can collapse from the smallest of triggers. I often tell my patients this, osteoporosis is not some mysterious enemy. It's more like an old friend who quietly drifts away if you don't care for them. And when the framework of your bones begins to weaken, modern medicine has given us many tools to help preserve that strength. But remember, medication is only one piece of the puzzle. It can't replace lifestyle. It's simply a bridge to help you get across the rough patches. Let's start with the most common group, bisphosphonates. You may have heard names like alendronate or risedronate. I call these the gatekeepers of your bones, slowing down bone loss, so the candle burns longer instead of burning out too quickly. Usually, you take them first thing in the morning, on an empty stomach, with a full glass of water, and then remain sitting or standing for at least 30 minutes. Sounds inconvenient, doesn't it? But many of my patients tell me, "Doctor, just those few minutes of patience each morning make me feel secure all day." Still, I always remind them these medicines can upset the stomach, so it's important to take them correctly. And the little lesson here, patience often brings far greater rewards than rushing ever will. Next, we have hormone replacement therapy, or HRT. For many women entering menopause, the sudden drop in estrogen is like a door slamming shut, leaving the bones vulnerable and exposed. HRT helps refill that gap, like a fresh stream of water running back into a dried-up field. One of my patients, a 54-year-old woman, told me after starting HRT, "I not only feel my bones are stronger, I feel like I've turned back the clock a few years." But HRT isn't for everyone. It carries possible risks, like heart disease or breast cancer, so every decision needs careful thought with your doctor, much like choosing whether to take a short but narrow path, or a longer but safer road. Another option is SERMs, like raloxifene. These are smart drugs that act like estrogen, where it helps in the bones but don't affect the breast or uterus as much. Studies show they're especially effective in reducing spinal fractures. I once had a patient who constantly worried, "I'm afraid the medicine will throw my whole body off balance." When I explained how SERMs work selectively targeting the bones and not everywhere else, she sighed in relief. Sometimes, understanding the medicine is the strongest tranquilizer of all. If you've heard of denosumab, or its brand name Prolia, this is another path. It's given as an injection every 6 months, very convenient for those who dislike taking pills every week. Denosumab works by blocking the cells that break down bone. A gentleman in his early 60s once told me, "I thought I could just take the shot and forget about it. But then I realized consistency is the key." And he was right. Denosumab is very effective, but only if you stick with it. Stop too suddenly, and your bones can weaken quickly again. I compare it to a suspension bridge. It only holds strong if every cable stays tight. And finally, in severe cases, medicine gives us a precious gift, bone-building drugs. Names like teriparatide, abaloparatide, or romosozumab may sound unfamiliar, but they work by stimulating your body to grow brand new bone. I like to think of them as the construction workers, laying down brick after brick to rebuild what was lost. One of my patients suffered 2 fractures in a single year. After starting teriparatide, she told me, "Doctor, I feel like I've been given a second chance to stand tall again." These medications are usually taken for a limited time, but their impact can truly transform quality of life. So, with all these choices, the question is, which one is right for you? And the truth is, there's no single answer. It depends on your age, your overall health, the severity of your osteoporosis, and yes, even your patience. But the most important thing to remember is this: you don't have to decide alone. There's always a doctor by your side, weighing the risks and benefits with you. What I want you to take away is this: medication is like a walking cane. It helps steady your steps, but it's not a brand new pair of legs. To truly stay strong, you also need good nutrition, regular movement, and restful sleep. And that's exactly what we'll explore next: the simple, practical steps you can take right in the comfort of your own home. When people think about keeping their bones strong, most go straight to medication. But let me share a little secret with you. What you do every single day, right in your own home, is far more powerful than any prescription. Medicine is the hand of science, but habits and lifestyle, they are the heartbeat of health. And the beautiful part is, you can start today, right in your kitchen, your living room, even in the way you sleep. 1. Nutrition. Nourishing from the inside out. Have you ever noticed that the foods you eat are the very building blocks of your skeleton? Bones aren't just cold stone, they're living structures, like a garden that needs tending. Calcium. Think of a morning glass of low-fat milk, a plate of leafy greens, a handful of almonds, even sardines, tiny little fish packed with surprising amounts of calcium. I once had a 65-year-old patient who hated milk. Instead, every day she ate a small can of sardines with a slice or 2 of low-fat cheese. After 2 years, her bone density scans had improved significantly. Vitamin D. You'll find it in the morning sun, in a simple grilled salmon shared with family, or in a sunny-side-up egg. And let me ask you, when was the last time you allowed yourself a quiet moment in the early sunlight, just to breathe in fresh air, protein and balance? Many believe meat weakens bone, but in truth, the right amount of protein helps preserve muscle, which in turn protects your skeleton. A balanced meal with beans, fish, or lean meat is like the cement holding bones and muscles together. Limit coffee, alcohol, and smoking. I know, for many, that morning coffee or evening glass of wine is hard to give up, but everything in excess has its price. The question is, do you want to savor this moment or protect your health so you can savor many more moments in the future? 2. Movement. Sending life's signal to your bones. Bones are like a piano. Leave it untouched too long, and the keys will rust. The sound goes flat. Movement is how you play your bone piano, keeping it vibrant and alive. Weight-bearing exercises. A 20-minute walk a day is more powerful than you think. One of my patients once believed heavy gym workouts were the only answer, but simply walking her neighborhood or practicing gentle yoga gave her body all the signals it needed to keep bones strong. Strength training. A pair of small dumbbells or resistance bands can transform your living room into a gym. I recall a 70-year-old gentleman who lifted 2 1-liter water bottles each morning. After 6 months, not only was he stronger, but his steps were steadier, his confidence renewed. Balance training. Tai Chi, or just standing on one leg for 30 seconds, can protect you from unexpected falls. And sometimes, avoiding a single fall means avoiding a fracture and an unwanted hospital stay. 3. Sleep and mind. The the quiet restoration. Let me ask you, when was the last time you slept deeply, free of worries? Sleep is the sacred space where your body repairs itself, including your bones. Going to bed at the same time each night is like a familiar song, telling your body when it's time to rest. Turning off screens an hour before bed so blue light doesn't steal away your melatonin. The sleep hormone, a cup of herbal tea, a few 4-7-8 breaths, or soft music. Each can be a gentle doorway into dreams. And don't forget, lower stress means stronger bones, less cortisol, better calcium absorption. I once knew an older woman who struggled with sleepless nights. She began journaling each evening, writing down 3 things she was grateful for. Within weeks, she was sleeping more soundly, her spirit lighter, and yes, even her bones benefited from that nightly renewal. 4. A safe home. Turning your house into a haven. A safe home is an invisible medicine, one that far too many people overlook. Add warm nightlights in the hallway. Clear clutter rugs, cords, anything that can trip you up. Install sturdy handrails in the bathroom and along stairs. I'll never forget a 72-year-old man who told me, "Doctor, I never imagined that putting up a handrail would make me feel so confident in the shower." Sometimes the smallest changes bring the greatest peace of mind. So you see, caring for your bones is not just about pills and hospitals. It's an art of living, slowing down, choosing wisely, and honoring the little details of each day. And the lesson here is simple. When you treat yourself with gentleness, your bones respond with strength. In our next part, I'll share when it's truly time to see a doctor and what warning signs you should never ignore, so you're never caught off guard by a small fall that leads to a big consequence. There's a question many people hesitate to ask. When should I really go see a doctor about my bones? I understand each of us wants to believe we're still strong, still steady like before, but sometimes the body whispers signals we're too quick to ignore. If you've ever broken a bone from something as small as a light fall, or even just tripping in your own home, that's not a little accident. That could be your bones sounding an alarm. I remember a patient in her early 60s who told me, "All I did was slip while watering my plants, and I broke my wrist." That was the moment she discovered she had osteoporosis. Or maybe you've noticed persistent back pain, or even that you've lost a couple of inches in height. That's often the spine quietly weakening. These aren't just signs of getting older. They're reminders to listen more carefully to your body. Today, we also have a tool called Frax. By entering just a few details, you can see your risk of fracture in the next 10 years. And more importantly, after age 50, you should get a DXA bone density scan regularly. Think of it as a mirror showing you exactly where your skeleton stands on the journey of health. The little lesson here is simple. Don't wait for a fracture before you start caring for your bones. Being proactive means taking control instead of letting age make the decisions for you. And now that you know when to see a doctor, let's close this journey with a hopeful reminder. Osteoporosis is not the end. It can be the beginning of a new, steadier, more mindful way of living. Here's what I want you to hold on to after this video. Osteoporosis is not a death sentence. It doesn't mean the end of your freedom or the end of your joy. It's simply a condition that can be managed, like tending a garden. It takes patience, attention, and small, daily habits, and you are not alone. Millions of Americans over 50 are walking this same path, sometimes slower, sometimes stumbling, but always finding a way to rise again and keep moving forward. I recall a patient who once told me, "Doctor, I thought I had lost everything, but just by changing my diet, sleeping better, and walking each evening, I felt like I was rebuilding my life, brick by brick." So don't look for giant leaps. Start with the simple things: a little better sleep, a few gentle stretches, an extra serving of greens, a few mindful breaths, small steps, repeated daily. That's the foundation for strong bones and a peaceful, independent later life. And if you've found these insights helpful, I invite you to share them so that others, too, can protect their precious framework. And together, we can move toward a future that's healthier, stronger, and gentler.